I thought I'd take you on a quick tour of what you've learned during our adventure. In the first part of this course, we covered the history of Photoshop, the family of Photoshop products, raster versus vector images, and you've seen how Photoshop has evolved up to its current version, CS6. Then I helped you get comfortable with the interface, learning how to work with tools and panels, and your options bar across the top of the screen. We also experimented with some cool special effects and filters using plugins. In Chapter 2, we got a jump start into beauty retouching, cropping and straightening photos, using content-aware scaling, and I also gave you some guidelines for preferences, switching screen modes, arranging your panels, and saving a workspace. You can even see I'm using my Kelly workspace here in Adobe Bridge. As we moved on for image editing, we learned how to use Refine Edge, and we created a composite of a woman in front of the Adobe San Francisco office. Then I showed you how to work with layers and masks, and we created some neat effects with those masks. Chapter 6 was one of my favorites. I spend so much of my time doing photo retouching. This is where I live in Photoshop. We looked at a lot of correction techniques, including how to skinny yourself up. Here's one of my favorites. Before I lost the baby weight, after I lost the baby weight. As we dove deeper into Photoshop in the Beautiful Images chapter, I showed you how to make color really pop in an image, to take anything from any point-and-shoot camera or even from a phone and turn it from this into this with a few sliders in Adobe Camera Raw, the massively powerful Adobe Camera Raw. In Chapter 8, we jumped into the deep end of the pool with typography, and we worked on a mobile mock-up, and you also saw how to build character styles and paragraph styles new to Photoshop CS6, as well as set up guides to help you do web mock-ups or mobile and device mock-ups. Then in Chapter 9, we dug into the world of 3D, created 3D text, and even used the video editing features to create our own title sequence from a static image with moving 3D type. In the fun chapter, I threw in some of my favorite tips and techniques. One of them was turning this model into twins using the clone stamp tool, putting my pug on the exterior of this building, and using some very creative blending and lighting effects. Finally, we covered output and color management and color settings and printing and also creating a contact sheet. And I couldn't resist but throw in a bonus chapter on how to do hand-drawn paintings or use the mixer brush tool to turn photos into works of art. I hope that you've enjoyed this tour of Photoshop CS6 and that you've learned to love the new features, the rich interface, the speed, and the beauty that Adobe has given us. My goal has been to share tips, tricks, and techniques that make my life easier and to teach you the skills to make your photos better or outstanding. Hopefully, you've learned some tricks that you'll go on to love and to perfect and make your own as you work with Photoshop more. This has been our journey into Photoshop CS6 through the Learn by Video course. Good luck, and use your new Photoshop powers for good.